Welcome back, and I know I cut myself off there a little bit. It's not a big deal. I just wanted to show you. I wanted to just show you for later so that you can figure out how to do it. So, just refer back to the end of that video to see how to split and join windows in Blender 2.8. And let's go back to the web page and the default workspace. If you look at the above screenshot of the default workspace, you'll see the following window types. The menu bar at the top, outlined in green, is actually a window called the info window. In the previous version of Blender, you could resize this to reveal the user preferences. But 2.5x, they've been moved down to their own window type. Instead, all you see here is enlarged the window are some debug messages which may be removed in future version of Blender. As a 2.70, the debug messages are still present in this menu. Now, let's just do that real quick. Now what? Right, they're their own window. The only thing here is, see, I can. Okay, so now I know how to hide this one at least. You can't hide the top menu bar. And then of course this does like that. So if you notice, a header is a header, right? Let's do something here. Let's add an info window. So remember, it's either right or top to split in the little corner, and bottom or left. No, left or top to split. Bottom or right to rejoin. Okay. So let's go ahead and switch this to info window. I don't know what the info window does here, honestly. Oh, that's cool. It's showing me what I'm doing here, interestingly enough. Alright, that's okay, okay. Outliner, okay, so anyways, info window, largest window is a 3D view where you work on your model. This is still the 3D view here, which is now represented by this little, it almost looks like a, I know what it's supposed to be. It looks like a picnic table with like a balloon or a ball on it. It's actually supposed to be like a grid. It looks like a little hashtag with a sphere on it. But it looks like a picnic table with a balloon on it. Anyways, properties window is the tile on the right where most of the functions are located for performing operations of models, materials, etc. Previous version of Blender is called the buttons window. Over time it evolved into the disorganized area that made it difficult to find things, being cleaned up in 2.5. Note defaults to a vertical layout rather than a horizontal one in previous versions. The new design prefers a vertical layout which better suits today's widescreen monitors. What differs to a vertical layout? Oh, I see. Vertical. Okay. The actual tabs themselves are also vertical now. They used to be horizontal. Workspace presets. In the info window title bar, you'll see a menu with an icon like this. Following menu. Okay, so scripting, UV editing, window editing. Select from this menu, let's quickly switch between various predefined workspace layouts tailored to specific workflows. Okay, so the interesting thing here is that now you have your workspace, different default workspaces here. Workspace presets are along the top here, and you can add a workspace. You can change one to the way you want it, and then also I noticed how did I do that? Did I move that? How did I move that? Do you remember? It's kind of weird because somehow I must have right clicked collapse menus. Okay, so collapsing menus. Right? Just collapses the menus, the actual menus themselves. Anyways, the presets now are in the workspaces like they have them. I guess before you couldn't do that. It was just like a preset deal. I don't know. Was there a thing? Well, there's a thing. It looks like you could have added it back then. So it's just a different way it does it. Now it does it like a tab. X plus creates a new entry, which is duplicated the last selected entry. Gets rid of it. This is default. Blender allows you to rename the current menu by clicking with the left mouse button, typing a new name. So take care not to do so unless you actually want to rename the menu. For example, if you want to replace the default with My Defaults, you will subsequently see the My Defaults appears in the list of menu items. Also notice the plus and X icons are right of the menu. Clicking X creates a new entry. X gets rid of the currently selected entry. Now, I don't know if there's a way of actually getting rid of delete. Okay, so you can actually delete the active workspace if you want to. Of course, you can add to it. Add one. One document at a time. Now, what are we doing here? We're 7 minutes in. Blender can only work with one document at a time. To save changes, the current document, save, Control S, which is normal, open new document, select new, Control N, reload from startup, reload startup file from pop-up that appears, but you aware this will not automatically save changes to any previous document. Okay. Scenes. A scene is like a separate Blender document within a document. Different scenes within the same document can easily share objects and materials. You can define them once and make different renderings and animations from them. You can create, delete, and switch scenes using the scene menu in the info header. New document starts a default one, just the scene called scene. Now, we do have scene. So my guess is that when you add a scene, interesting. I'll have to learn about scenes later. To exit Blender, there's a tool active, press escape to exit the tool, press Control Q. So, can we Control Q with this? Okay, not a problem. Press button. Versions before 2.79, Blender will not prompt you to save your work. However, you can easily pick up where you left off using file recover last session. Okay, that's okay. We're actually later than 2.79, so. Okay, so let me go back to, before I do anything, back to this. Okay, so we have 4 deals left before we actually get to Unit 2, which is actually modeling and shading, which means I get to play around with that. Okay, user prefs window. We'll look at user prefs window. Counter 3 different user interface controls, radio buttons, toggle buttons, and sliders. Saving user preference, accessing, configuring, autosave, number of undo levels, numpad emulation, digital resources. Most applications have a place to keep user configured settings, include document defaults separate from user created documents. Blender works in a slightly different fashion. All user configured settings are saved in every document you create. Each time you create a new Blender document, it relives your default document, which is called .b.blend. To save your current state as the default document, Control U. This will save everything you've done in the current the current in-memory document, including objects and materials created, to b.blend. And I wonder, okay, let's save user preferences. So, what happens if I just do Control U right now? Anything? Doesn't look like anything's happening, which is fine. But, okay. Accessing user preferences. Left mouse button, file, user preferences. It's now in edit. It's no longer in file. So, okay, save startup file. Make the current file the default blend file. So that means if you make changes, you can load factory settings. That means you can restore it. Otherwise, it's just going to load up the default, which is what this is. I don't know what that is. Link pin from a library blend file. That's interesting. I have to figure out how to use all that stuff. Import files and export files. External data. Pack intro.blend. Pack all into .blend. Unpack all into files. I don't know what all that stuff is, but that's okay. I can figure it out later. So, here I'll show you how to get into Windows preferences, into user preferences. And that's preferences under Edit. It's no longer in File. It's under Edit. Okay. It's a little bit different. See, interface, text rendering, menus. I mean, you can change lots of stuff here. Configuring your preferences in order to get modeling and rendering sooner. This tutorial will cover only a few of the many user settings. Autosave automatically saves the current blend file. Autosave temporary files. Timer specifies time in minutes between each autosave. And 2.66 and later, additional option is available to keep session. The option always saves the quit.blend file at quit and loads it on starting Blender. If you close Blender with an empty file session, the startup.blend, it keeps window header name Blender and treats the session as if no file was loaded. For the purpose of this tutorial, it can be left disabled. And let's do that. Okay, so I guess I'll get into the rest of this tomorrow. So I guess we can see me later the next day, or let's see, what day is it today? Today's the 6th, and you'll be seeing this the 7th. So that means that our next one will be on Friday, on Saturday, because this one's going to be on Friday. Alright, so I will see you on Saturday. I'll see you on Saturday. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later.